before I get started, this video is completely unscripted. I wasn't planning to record today, but something happened overnight, so I grabbed my selfie stick and headed to the nature reserve. Also, I want to reassure my viewers that this isn't becoming Danny's English nationalist channel. By next week, I'll be back to laughing about people like men in dresses and those who cry about pronouns. Yesterday, I posted a video called Britain Awakens about Operation Raise the Colours, the way in which the British, and in particular the English, are trying to protect their national identity. That's why there are Union flags and the St George's Cross flying from lampposts all around the country. But last night in Stevenage, a town in England, two white British lads were out flagging, because now it has a name, and whilst they were doing so, allegedly they got petrol bombed. There's a video on social media which I've seen, but I can't include in this video because if I do, the video will just get pulled. If you go onto X or TikTok though and put in Stevenage petrol bomb, you'll see it. It's around 2 minutes long. If it's genuine, and I have no reason to think it isn't, it shows a man bleeding profusely from his head because a petrol bomb hit him in the head. Thankfully, it didn't douse him in fuel. It isn't being reported by the mainstream media, and call me a conspiracy theorist, but given that recently we found out that there was a super injunction, meaning that the press couldn't report on thousands of Afghans being flown into the country under the cover of darkness, it wouldn't surprise me if there's also a gagging order telling the mainstream media not to report on certain events. For example, it's widely known that on an almost daily basis, women and girls are getting SA'd by illegal immigrants, but it rarely makes it to the front pages of the papers. So, if the rumours are true, and this is just hearsay, the rumour is that these two white British lads out flagging got petrol bombed by a couple of Muslim gentlemen. If there's evidence for that, this could be the spark that ignites the powder keg. Because for a few years now, although there is a far right, many people who are labelled far right are peaceful. We see it outside migrant hotels where there is a peaceful protest. And then the blue-haired overweight people with their septum piercings turn up, and their mates from Antifa the anti-fascists who beat people up in the street like Hitler's fucking brown shirts. If it now turns out that if people putting up the flag of St George because they want to celebrate and protect their national identity, if that's met with violence, although I don't approve of it, violence is going to go the other way. And things are already changing. I'm about to play a clip from the seaside town of Bournemouth. So, in particular, if you're from outside the UK, imagine what a British seaside town looks like. I grew up in Norwich, so a short drive from Great Yarmouth, Lowestoft, Hemsby, Sheringham, beautiful seaside towns. Great Yarmouth, that isn't beautiful, but Rupert Lowe's the MP, so that's a good thing. I'm thinking sandy or pebble beaches with families on them, children paddling or swimming in the sea. An ice cream van, a Punch and Judy show, fish and chips on the seafront, arcades and shops selling cheap shit. Here is Bournemouth in 2025. Yeah, now some of those people will be British citizens, that's fair enough. Many of them though won't, because Bournemouth has 3 migrant hotels. Many of the people on that beach have either come from sub-Saharan Africa or the Middle East, basically third world countries with third world cultures. These are people who have no idea how to act in a Western civilized society, in particular when it comes to how to be around women and girls. And since those hotels opened, the crime in Bournemouth has gone through the fucking roof. In particular, sexual assaults against women and girls. Now, I know the police are stretched. They're far too busy dancing at pride parades and learning about pronouns. A rather harrowing tale I heard on Twitter was about a man whose daughter was sexually assaulted in public by a Pakistani gentleman who then took her phone and ran off. He called the police. They didn't attend. They gave him a crime number. Like I say, they are stretched. What he should have done is put his daughter in the car and try to drive half a mile with the brake light out. Plod would have been there in seconds. So Bournemouth now has its own citizen patrol group. Men and women who go out at night to protect women and girls from illegal migrants. Now, some of those guys look like they're ex-military. They'll be able to handle themselves. But this is the thing. If petrol bombs are allegedly being thrown at lads going out flagging, how are people going to respond to these? If that were to happen, how long until that citizen patrol group becomes a vigilante group or a militia? And I'll be blunt, I'm not against it, because God knows the powers that be that are meant to protect the British public aren't doing their fucking jobs. And that's before we get to the autumn budget. Now, our utterly incompetent government, for a while, kept parroting this lie about a £22 billion black hole in the economy. They said it had been left to them by the previous government. It's been proved on multiple occasions they were lying through their fucking teeth. But let's bear in mind the Chancellor of the Exchequer, Rachel Reeves, claimed she was an economist at the Bank of England for 10 years. She wasn't an economist and she was only there for 6. And now that alleged £22 billion black hole that wasn't there is now £50 billion. So the only way out of it for our fucking socialist fucktard government will be to tax the shit out of the British people. In this country already, there are parents who go hungry so that their children can eat. And they aren't dull scrounging fucktards. These are people with jobs. It's just that everything in this country is so bloody expensive. And when taxes go up again, and we see thousands of people coming into this country given everything for fucking free, and their gratitude is to go out and attack our children, I think we're going to have riots to rival the poll tax riots. And of course, I don't condone violence, but something has got to give. What we need is de-escalation, and for that we need Keir Starmer to recall Parliament and do something, to prove he's actually got some bollocks. The only way, I think, to appease the British people is mass deportations now. But Starmer won't do it, because he's so beholden to the EU. I honestly believe the Labour government are trying to punish the British people for voting for Brexit. They fucking love the EU and they want to hurt us. So the Labour government could oust Starmer, have a vote of no confidence and just fuck him off. But they won't do it. And bear in mind, we are already paying the highest taxes since there was fucking rationing in this country. The last time the British people were taxed this hard, there were children playing in bomb craters left by the Luftwaffe's handiwork. However, I think the solution is much simpler. We just needed to encourage people to leave. During the pandemic, we had the Nightingale hospitals. These were massive tents full of bunks in case the hospitals got overwhelmed. They were put up in a matter of weeks. I say put them back up. And every illegal immigrant, because they aren't asylum seekers, they are economic migrants. The unwritten rule is if you're leaving a war-torn country, stop at the first peaceful country you come to. There isn't a war going on in France or fucking Ireland. Not only that, but the majority of asylum seekers are actually coming from Pakistan, which isn't at fucking war. Rebuild the Nightingale hospitals and call them the detention centres. And then we take every legal, we take away their fucking Samsung or iPhones. We take away their PlayStations. We take them out of the hotels and out of their rent-free accommodation houses and we put them into these massive tents. They get a yoga mat and a sleeping bag. They're fed 3 times a day and that's fucking it. Because if they came to this country illegally, they are criminals. Let's treat them as such. Not inhumanely, but no luxuries. They get their bed and that's it. And then we can say to them, okay, when you've had enough, when you want to go home, come and tell a member of staff. And when there's enough of you to fill up a plane, we'll fuck you off. And if inside one of these detention centres they start kicking off, then it's time for rubber bullets and tear gas. And if rubber bullets don't work, switch to live ammunition. I know that's fucking harsh, but something's got to be done. That was a very shouty video. Not many jokes in that again. I'll get back to doing the comedy next week. Anyway, that is the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, please do like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you could leave a like or a comment or share the video, that really helps the algorithm. If you would like to support me in making these videos, and thank you to everyone who's done so already, there are links in the description to buy me a coffee and to my Patreon. And as ever, thanks for watching. An incident took place last... fucking bollocks. However, allegedly, an incident took... Fuck. So there is a video of the event, and I have no reason to... fucking oh, bollocks. So I saw saw that. So the fucking hell. The Nightingale hotels, the Nightingale hospitals. Bournemouth now has a citizen... Fuck it.